So with all that background, what's an index fund? Well, let's start with what's an actively managed fund. So an actively managed fund is run by professionals who look at all the stocks that are available and they try to avoid the ones that they think are going to do poorly and choose the ones that they think are going to do better. And that seems like a pretty reasonable thing to do. And in some ways, it seems like a pretty simple thing to do because, they're obvious dogs and they're obviously companies that are on the rise. The problem is that research now tells us pretty categorically that that's an extraordinarily difficult thing to do. It turns out that today's dogs are sometimes tomorrow's exciting turnaround stories, and today's high flyers, for those people who were around 10 years ago, like Enron, suddenly implode and leave everybody in tears and ashes. So an index fund says, that's so hard to do, and it's so expensive to do, that we're not going to do it at all. And that was Jack Bogle's brilliance. He said, I'm just going to buy all of the stocks. I'm going to buy the entire basket. His first index fund was based on the S&P 500, which are the 500 largest companies in the United States. He just said, I'm not going to try to predict which one of those are going to outperform. I'm going to buy them all. And that's going to be cheaper. I'll have lower fees. And over time, the ones that succeed will succeed by multiples. They can go up 100, 200, 300, 10,000%. The ones that fail will drift off and go ultimately maybe to zero. They'll lose 100%, which sounds awful. But when you have a game that stacks so that your winners can go up 2, 3, 5, 10,000%, and the worst your losers can do is go down 100, and they'll probably fall off the index before they even get there. Well, that's a winning formula. And so I don't have to worry about which stocks are going to do well or not. If they do well, I will own them. If they don't do well, they'll drift away from my portfolio. So taking Tesla, which I know, Carl, is a stock that's done very well for you. It's done very well for anybody, I guess, who's invested in it. I own Tesla. I own it through VTSAX, which is the total stock market index fund, a little step beyond the S&P 500. So if Tesla continues to do well, I'll continue to benefit from that. Not as much as you will because it's a bigger part of your portfolio, but I'll continue to do well. If, on the other hand, as other automotive companies come online with their electric vehicles, the world gets tougher for Tesla and they begin to falter, won't matter because I'll benefit from owning those other companies. So it's a win-win. So that's basically what an index fund is. It just buys everything. So in owning a total stock market index fund like VTSAX, I own virtually every publicly traded company in the United States. Last time I checked, that's about 3,600 companies. So also extraordinarily diversified. Right? Some people say, well, if you only own this one fund, that's too narrow. You need more diversification. Well, 3,600 companies in my book is pretty widely diversified.